Mellow greetings, Engineer Bob here. Welcome back to our lunar start. Last we left off, we upgraded our rover and hit pay dirt in our first mine that we were digging out, and now we continue on our adventure. Perhaps we should start the construction of our base then. We have plenty of materials on hand. Let's do that. We'll start with some steel plates and some interior plates. We have interior plates on hand. Go over here, tell our basic assembler, build us some of these guys, some of those guys. Refinery, you continue working on that. And I think we'll build our base right there against the ledge. We'll start off with these interior plates because they are cheaper to produce. We want to go large grid, and just for the sake of keeping everything vanilla, I'll swap over to the interior block and give us something a little nicer as far as a base too. If I hit B as in Bravo, we should be able to gravity align that. And we can build left and right for the most part. I'll make a tower real fast. And that tower should give us plenty of clearance for solar panels. I'm going to need quite a few of these because they do not produce a lot of power. We're going to be largely up and over for the orientation of the sun. So that means we probably get away with horizontal orientations here. If we went vertical, we would lose a lot of the directly overhead time. And since these are large grids, they're actually going to produce a lot more power than if they were the small grid. 2, 3, 4. I actually don't need the glass that it's telling us that we do. So we can check. We don't need this battery. We do want to put these components into production. We can get rid of this glass, that glass, this glass, and that glass. The waste of silicon that I can use on computers or other things at the moment. That's why I'm getting rid of those. I will probably want to do something like putting a battery on it. Giving me a battery will allow me to store excess charge, and it starts with some charge, so that's something I would like. I will not put the assembler on my rover. I will put an assembler here. And I can put my assembler like so. It gives me access to all of its ports, and I can start to frame out a refinery for it as well. This refinery, I think I'll put the refinery going this way. I don't want to sit with the standard refinery. I want to upgrade my refinery. Something a little more robust. I'll put it here. I would also like my H2O2 generator, and I can set you up here very nicely. Just shoving all these things in here makes it nice and compact, so you don't have to deal with any aesthetics at the moment. Just give me enough to live through the day. So I will have the assembler for building. I'll have my H2O2, my oxygen going, and mostly what I want right now is the battery and these solar cells. So let's grab these guys out of here. Right now we're just trying to survive with what we can on our battery, managing to get through the night with just 30 minutes of power left at our current consumption rates. There's no real point in starting this base any sooner because we couldn't have powered it properly. Probably hop back into that mine. Don't have power cells. We don't have enough for that cargo container. It doesn't look like we have enough for our assembler either. All right. We get more iron. Really don't want the nickel, but it's gonna come with it. We've only just touched our iron vein here. We'll turn it on and start collecting. At least with these batteries going, we can start to power things on that station a little bit more. And once we get that assembler up, we can tell it to build the parts for the refinery next to it. And then it's just a matter of feeding it more and more materials so that we can get everything refined. We can't do the gold or silver or anything else on our basic refinery here, so that's why we do need those upgrades. Give this another kiss of iron. You know, we always need it. We just top off with everything, and we can go drive ourselves out, start to work on that little base a bit more. We can see exactly what I have to work with. I've got cargo container, got power cells. Power cells are very large. They take up a lot of your inventory, so if that's what I am pulling out, looks like it is, then that'll fill up first. You won't be able to pull out all the other materials. I did want this battery online first so that it can be charging on the solar above while I still have that available. Now these can be connected through to here, and I just need this refinery to be built. An easy way to do that is to slap a welder here, and it can just continuously put power into welding the refinery. What I do need to do is tell this to build all of those components, and then I need to supply this with materials. And I can actually take all of your materials. I don't need to be supporting manufacturing off my rover. Try to extend that battery life for as long as I can get it. Now I've cleared off most of this. I'm going to make sure this assembler is empty so I don't have to pick up after it, because I'm very low on battery life. I need to take some emergency measures immediately. Take this and this. And I'm prioritizing these connectors at the moment just so I can hook my rover up to it and it can get a little power off the sun. I know you're not built either. You up. All right, another item to add to our hotbar here. Even though we only have the one here, it will help us identify it later. Switch lock you. And then over we go. And we'll do the same thing that we did before we tipped over. We're going to do a gyro override. Gyro override. And we didn't move our gyro since last time. Should just be some yaw. And looking good. Excellent. One more thing we're going to want to do too on this hotbar is put our batteries. Rover battery recharge on off. And that's so when I get here, I can make it recharge for myself. Rear view camera. I want this connector here, and I want battery. So I can recharge it from here too. Good. Turn off that parking brake now. We don't have to jump through a ton of different controls. There we go. I can parking brake, I can connect, I can recharge, and then I can exit camera view. All set. Eventually this will be piped all in together, so when I have this refinery up and running, it'll just suck any materials that I have drilled out straight through. But for the moment, this is my only functioning refinery, and I kind of need it to operate. That little light coming up means we got another 25% on there, which is great. Scrape down here. Really all I want is iron out of this. But I will be getting some other materials too. It's kind of the nature of that beast for the moment. What we probably need is a bit more friction, a bit more power. Something that we need to adjust because we don't need all of that power on the onset, but we will need it once we are laden with ore. Actually want to put all of the materials into our base cargo container, this guy here. Easy way to do that is to do cargo container here. And we can come down and locate it, this guy, and this will dump everything into wherever we're going. So we can hit cargo container, and we just want everything to go into it. So let's deposit all. And that should pull everything into it. We can even put our weapon and stuff in there too. That way that assembler is not burdened with garbage, and we'll eventually have to like pull out all of the ingots if it pulls in too much. The refinery is still working. We can get you to tear through stone first, and then we can prioritize stone by making it first. And if we move everything else over, nickel being last in there, that works. It'll just prioritize filling itself with stone and then jump to iron and everything else. That looks good there. We do want the materials for you. We have that in the build planner. We did. Yeah, that thing's already drained. Means we're on borrowed time essentially. See how drained this guy is. Fully depleted in 10 minutes at what I'm doing right now. Means we don't have enough solar panels for what we're trying to do. Should probably make a few more of those before we go too crazy. We won't be able to continue to operate through the night. I think the difference between the small grid survival kit and the large grid survival kit was like 10 steel plate or something like that. The big thing that we'll want out of this rover is that survival kit, because that'll allow us to come back here. Put our survival kit right there. And we can tap some materials into it. And everything else should already be in that survival kit. We don't want to get rid of it at the moment because it's part of the conveyor junction for everything else. What we do want to do is make sure that we get this built so we can build more solar panels. What else we got going here? Tubes and such. Production. Still working on it. 16 and 16. Did you need that many grids? You did not. Need that many tubes. 20 tubes is all you need. What else can we do? We have extra plates. We have some extra steel plate. We can frame up a couple more solar panels, and we can tell this assembler, we can actually just tell this assembler production. This one's nice because we can go into the blocks and we can just tell it solar panel. There's our other large grid blocks for the large grid here. We can just tell it, give me 3 more solar panels. And then I'll nix the glass on that because I don't need it. And let's attach some solar panels over here. You and once this guy comes online, our ore refinement should go a lot faster. That's great. Because it'll suck in all the ore from our cargo container, and it has. We can take a look at their 2 refineries. We'll drop you in here. It'll process these things so much faster than what we were doing on our small grid. Okay, so we should have plenty for this next bit. What I want to do is remove that survival kit and just be able to pull everything back across. That survival kit needs to go on the base. The base needs that power. And we need solar panels. Great. Now we've got some more power going, just as that sun is setting. Pretty typical. But our rover has a lot of charge in it, which is great for us. Let's take advantage of that. Back here. We can pull stuff off of this rover. And you can get in the base. We're about to have some margin of safety net, but not really, because without a battery, this won't function. Without the sun, we can't charge the battery, and we can see what our battery is doing. Station. Fully recharged in 5 days. So we are at a positive power income right now, but it's very, very slow. And that's not the best for what we want. I think the best thing that we could do is kind of cut it off here-ish. And then continue to build backwards. And that's just so I can save the battery here. Go. All right. With that in place, I can actually increase my hinge limit. You can actually go all the way up to 90. All right. Let's see if I can make that lock. All right, looks like we're locked there. That way I can get those wheels off the ground and not have to worry about anything else. I can kind of push you guys around, can't I? Especially in this low gravity. Get this. Hope I don't explode from this plan. Put you as a big guy. You with a little rotor head. I'll put a couple on you, just in case. Okay, and next thing up is to quickly get some power back in me. I am freezing to death. Probably need to pay attention to that. Okay, so my plan is to build a timer block to continuously till this rotor. Timer block. Continuously tell this rotor to attach. Give me materials. And I'm gonna kick that battery at the rotor. Hopefully it'll grab it. Timer block. Bill. Set up actions. You can tell this rotor to attach and call itself continuously, so it's going to constantly be trying to do this, and we will tell it to trigger now. So now it's just going to continuously try to attach. There's nothing there yet. See if we can't kick you up into it. Kling was not happy with my juking of the system, but I did get what I wanted. Kicked me back a good ways, but I managed to push that into place and get it attached, which was what I wanted. Good. I can turn off that light, and this battery, these guys are right here, rover battery. I'm going to set you to discharge. And there's a light on here that I don't really need. Okay, with the rover's battery now attached to the base, I have a little more survivability coming out of the base. And with the rover kind of set up already to be worked on, I will do that for the next time. So until then, go forth and build great things.